The dream.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, man.
So where are you located now, John? Are you back in Oklahoma?
Yeah, this damn state sucks you back in every damn time. So, yeah, I'm in Edmond, so it's just north side of the city, and we're out on the Edmond almost stretches the entire length of OKC, and we're out on the west side in just a particular school district that we wanted to be in.
Okay.
It's spoiled in North Dallas with the school districts and the schools, and so we were trying to find the best that we could.
Right.
Edmond schools are good, but kind of we're in an area called Deer Creek, so it's good. I will not be here for much longer. maybe 2 years max. Max. Going back to Frisco for sure.
You miss Frisco?
I do. I really do. There's a new, so, the PGA course is getting ready to open. And, the Omni, they built, the Omni owns the golf course, right? And then the PGA headquarters is there, and they just have a long-term lease with Omni for the golf course. And they're building all the way around it. Disney's going in there as well. And, been working with Alex, identified there's a pretty cool little stretch of houses that are going to start to be built. And we're going to try and get one of those. And there should break ground probably, streets are going in right now. So I'll just give you a time frame of where they're at. And it's what it is. The whole deal where they're building right in there. They want it to be kind of self-sufficient. Like once you're there, you have no reason to leave. Like everything's there. Like golf carts can take you everywhere. You can even, golf cart even over to Disney. They've got all the outdoor theaters, all the shops. You guys have been, to Legacy East or Legacy West in Plano. The gentleman that did Legacy West he said Legacy West was just a test for what I'm about to do up north in Frisco. And so it's about, there's nothing like it that's about to be built there. And so I'm like, that's where I want to be, right there. So we're going.
Oh. All right. Well, let's get this thing moving, man. All right. So we got some more people jumping on, but we do these every second Friday for our group, and just want to see who got some good news that they actually want to share. We got some freaking awesome real estate agents, and we don't look at market conditions and all that stuff that people say. We rock and roll and we make things happen. So who wants to share some good news with the group?
I know Mr. Hillsman has some good news.
I'll go quick first. I got an agent that partnered up with me here in Florida, and she's been an agent for a long time, but just got out of business for a bit, just kind of got plugged back in and needed to get some leads and really rock and rolling. And I got her set up with Jake Kinder's son there, Braden, on the the lead funnels. And he helped her get her that set up. And I think in the first 10 days, she got like 50 leads. At first, the cost per lead was a little high, but then they got him down to a lot less, quite a bit less. She's already got an appointment on like a $450,000 property that she's showing, and some other really good appointments that are getting scheduled. So she's real happy and getting moving quickly. So it's cool.
I love it.
Great. All right. Who else here want to share some good news with the group? We don't have secret agents. We have agents that are out there. So I've been having some really good conversations with some people as well. So I had some folks that we got their funnels turned on, and right away getting leads, getting business. Folks that has been dependent on sphere of influence and door knocking and all that other crap that it can work, right? But if you don't have that pipeline already built out, it's not predictable. So just helping people to do that, and they just been kind of building and growing their business from there. So All right. What's up, Dawn? See Dawn's in the building.
Hey, hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
We got to see you a little bit at some of the events. Haven't seen you in a minute, face to face.
Right. Will.
Talk about face to face. If any of you guys, unless you're in the shower or doing something crazy, go ahead, turn your cameras on so we can see everybody. It's a little more personable. Give John the energy to bring the fire. So if you can, yeah, definitely turn your, even if you're driving, it's okay. Turn your cameras on and let's give John some love here so he can pour into us. I mean, he's a big deal. I'll let James, introduce him for you guys, but I'm excited to be on a call.
Yeah, y'all in for a treat. I'm just gonna tell you right now. I mean, y'all in for a treat. So, I mean, we're just trying to set the stage, man, and just have everybody kind of share a little bit of good news, business or personal, that they're having within the group. But I already know what's about to happen. So, so what's going on? Like, so all right. So, anybody want to share some good news, some good stuff that's going on with within their business or personal or in their life or whatever? Let's go. Jump in here. All right, we got shy people this morning, man. What's going on? All right. All right. Well, John, I guess we're about to get right into it, man. So
Roll.
all right. So yeah, so like, once again, we do these every second Friday. For you all that don't know John Kitchen, John is the system guy. He has coached, have had thousands of coaching calls, helped people to grow their business, double, triple their business in of itself. He's a man. I mean, between, swimming, running, what I'm saying? Like everything that you need to do as far as like, to be in shape or whatever, I've been inspired by just kind of watching what he does, like, in of itself. But more importantly, he's been a good friend of me and he's helped me so much. So, for you all that don't know, John Kitchens, man, he is the guy. So, man, I appreciate you jumping on with us and just kind of going over everything with us.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I appreciate having me back in with this amazing group, and I love to see every time have the opportunity to jump in and see a bunch of new faces, which is super exciting, and just continue the evolution and continue the growth, and just like James had mentioned, go back, licensed kind of out of default, right? Kind of fell into real estate, got hooked up through kind of the connector, Mr. Michael Reese. Him and I went to junior high school, played golf together. We were actually first roommates in college together, and we lasted about a year and a half. I was supposed to be there playing golf, ended up on the drinking team instead of the golf team, and ended up, my aunt said, "Get your butt to California." So I fell into an environment there in Hollister, California. At the time, it was a 36-hole semi-private club resort, and that was my college. I had just an incredible boss mentor that she just kind of took me under her wing and kind of forced me into the environment of learning, spending time in the kitchen, spending time with the staff, spending time, with the food and beverage manager, over in hospitality, over in lodging, playing golf with the GM, and just really learning all the ins and outs and facets. And, being semi-private, I had to, how do you deal with members, and then how do you deal with the public? And so it was just a great educational time for me, and really understanding, how, even marketing and what type of clothes we chose to have into the shop, to, where we need to raise the price so the public wouldn't, would adhere to the dress code, just little nuanced things that you just have to be immersed in to learn. And it just really carried me over into, coming back to Oklahoma with some high school buddies and serial entrepreneurs. And, we took 3 or 4 business ideas, turned them into an actual profitable business, and flipped them. And so that was kind of a unique experience as well. And ended up getting into the bar business, which, you know, I laugh, you know, it's just like, geez, I can't believe I did that. But however, you know, like McConaughey says, right, it was a green light, and it was the green light that got me connected with Kinder in October of 04, ended up getting licensed that January of 05. And, you know, me stepping in kind of an operational type of a role, and really keeping the train on the tracks. You know, that year I came in 04, we ended up closing out 340 units. So they were already, you know, rocking and rolling, but it was a disaster. And it was, like I said, it was an absolute train wreck. So being able to, like James said, put the systems and processes and structure and cadence and rhythm and the things that it really takes to run a business and get the business to profitability. And, you know, we had a good run. You know, 6 was 5, we did about 430. 6 is when we kind of peaked at 531, somewhere in there is kind of where we ended up. And, you know, that kind of opened up the other door for opportunities. And this is, you know, working with real estate agents. What I always say, when you get over about 100 transactions, doors start to open and opportunity just starts to come your way. And so really having really good decision-making filters of what you say yes to, and more importantly, say no. Avoid the shiny object syndrome. You've got to make sure that you're saying yes to opportunities that really align to what you're trying to accomplish, your goal. And there's one real goal in business, and that's freedom. Now, with our business, we have to acquire customers and get them to the closing table so we can make the cash register ring. And it's just like our bodies need oxygen to survive. Your business needs oxygen to survive, and oxygen for your business is cash. And so you've got to make sure that you're doing the activities and the things that's supplying the oxygen that you need to fuel your business in a way that's going to move you closer to your freedom. And, you know, we didn't really understand that at that time, right? We were driven by a top competitor in our market, you know, small market, 3,000 total transactions per year. And I'm saying, you know, we're doing 500, and we were number 2 in our market. We went up against a top 10 Remax team in the world head to head daily. And they were always about 100 transactions more than us. And so it was that kind of drove us. And what also drove us were the details. And this is super important that you guys, you know, grasp this, and just trying to paint a picture here and give you some context. And so with us being in Lawton, our average sales price during that run was about 125,000. So you can just imagine being, you know, in that price point and trying to be profitable and grow and run it like a business. Every detail mattered, right? Every transaction fee had to be collected. Every, you know, commission was non-negotiable. We had to align with strategic partners, with vendors, with lenders, with, you know, we had them all contributing, being a part of our raving fan program. And, you know, we got into, you know, rehabs, flipping properties. We ended up getting in, building new construction, we did developments. We've done it all. And I'll come full circle with this in a second. Then 2007 happens. And Kinder and I, we parted ways for a little while. We had a difference of opinion, and really what happened was it was the best leadership lesson that we both could have ever had. And there was no vision. Jay was off trying to build Kinder Reese coaching and chase other opportunities, and I didn't see a future for me what we were doing. And so that's the power of a compelling vision. It's not what the vision is, it's what the vision does. And the vision was not there. And I believed, false, not true, I believed that there was not an opportunity for me. And this is the power of how critical your circle is. See, at the time, the circle was our investment partner, a couple of our top agents, and a few other folks that were on the outside that didn't really understand. And so when you're in an environment that you're getting fed things that you want to hear and things that instead of the things that you need to hear, sometimes you don't make the best of decisions. I wouldn't change it because it was another green light opportunity. And, you know, in 07, ended up becoming a competitor to Kinder, and took his business partner, took his top 2 listing agent and buyer's agent, and key admin. And we became a competitor, and we rocked from half of 07, all of 08 into 09. I'm huge pro partner on partnerships. I just think it's, you know, when you have the right partner, you can collapse time and go faster. I've been in quite a few partnerships. I have not been successful in a 3-way partnership. I've been really successful with 2 partners, just 2 of us. And so, because what happens is, you know, 2 can gang up on 1. And that's kind of what happened in that situation. But I wouldn't change it. You know, it was a green light for me because I was in the trenches. I was, you know, when I was, you know, prior to, I was, you know, I was the ops guy. I was the integrator before integrator was a thing. And, you know, Kinder will always tell you, you know, if you want to go fast on the operational side, you got to get a JK. Translate, you need an integrator, you need somebody that can execute and operate at a high level. And so what I had to do when we stepped ways is I had to get in the trenches. And it was the best thing for me because agents would bullshit me to no end. And I would just take their word for it because I was ignorant to how it really worked. And now going in and in the trenches and selling homes, I aligned, you know, I worked internet leads because we were big on internet leads. We were pioneering in internet leads. You guys probably haven't been in the game long enough to understand there's a program called Tiger Leads with Howard Tager, who has YLOPO now. You know, when Howard started, there was only 100 agents that he would open it up to, and we were one of them. And so we just knew how to turn the faucet on and work the internet leads. And so we were able to do that. I was able to do that, but I also aligned with the builder and worked the builder angle. Lawton being a military market, so we had people coming and going, even in 07, 08, 09. You know, Kinder went the short sale route, and he became, you know, the dominant agent in short sales during that time. And, you know, once we finally let our egos get over here to the side, we were able to have a real conversation, and we both apologized. We both, you know, shared the lessons learned. And we came back together in 2010, and we went independent. We broke away from Caldwell Banker and we went independent, and we just rocked with the coaching side of things. And so we got him completely out of the business. I, you know, was head of company running J. Kinder Real Estate Experts in Lawton, Oklahoma. He was completely out of the picture. And we fine-tuned the business. We were the most profitable we'd ever been. And it was just, we were humming along. 2012, 2013 comes along, and we have the opportunity. Michael's another green light. Michael's office manager left. And so the 3 of us had always wanted to do something together. And so it was an opportunity to get out of Lawton. You know, you see those shirts, right? Get me out of Lawton. And I was able to get into North Dallas, and we went from, you know, into that point. But during that time, 2011, and actually this month, is my 11th year of one-on-one coaching. And so, you know, being able to carry that coaching angle in, and then what we were doing in Frisco and you know, really tried to emulate, you know, kind of what we were doing in Lawton, and you know, what we were able to get away with in Lawton just doesn't work in big markets, and to a degree without spending a ton of money. So we went a different route. We ended up, you know, almost starting from scratch and building out partner. And I'm gonna come full circle with this right here, because when you have an incredible vision and you're clear on what that big, hairy, audacious goal for you is, then you look for, okay, what are all the ways to get there? And so in 2015, 2016, we started to set the target as partner. And we were looking to partner with 2,000 agents across the US. And we had 22 partners in in the North. Actually we were building out market service areas throughout Dallas in the Fort Worth market. And we actually did our first regional partner, which was Tracy Cousineau in Atlanta. She was our first regional partner. And we were introduced to this thing called EXP in 2015. And I watched about 3 minutes of a video and I stopped watching it. And it's like, we're doing what we're doing. We're on our path. This is our path. This is what we're doing, right? We're building partner. We've got our vision. This is, ego getting in the way. And there's a concept with outcome over ego. See, ego is about being right. Outcome is getting to right. And when you have a strong vision, that's right. That's the goal. And then it's like, well, what are all the ways? So in 2016, our good friend, Mr. Al Stasek, was given 2 Christmas presents. And a Christmas present is when your best agents leave you. And see, that's what happens in a team model. In a traditional team model, is your talent comes out the top. Because to run a profitable team model, it's real hard to keep really good agents who have a really strong book of business. And so we know that that's a cycle, right? Your best agents are going to come out. Well, Al was out of the business and he gets a Christmas present. Well, I'm coaching Al at the time, been coaching Al since 2013. And he says, Coach, I need you to look at this with me. And so for about the next 6 hours, we're going down the rabbit hole of EXP. And then we bring Kinder into the conversation. And if you guys have heard the story, Jay's pacing at Riggs, his youngest son's birthday, out back at their house in Aubrey, pacing for hours, talking to Al on the phone. And what we came to the conclusion was the vision was still the vision. We wanted to partner with agents. We just found a better vehicle to get there faster. And so we had this crazy goal of 2,000 partners by 2026 or something. It was ridiculous. Fast forward, we make the decision, jump over to EXP. And within 2 years, we surpass the 2,000 partner mark and blow the vision, blow the goal out of the water. And so my point of kind of sharing all of that with you is 2 things. One, the compelling vision drives everything, because what it does is it gives you a really good decision-making filter. And the thing is that the reason your business doesn't go faster is because you're not making decisions fast enough. What is your decisions per? What is your decisions per month? What are your decisions per week? What are your decisions per day? And the faster you can make decisions, the faster you can break things, you can run into the wall, you can learn from that, and you can make changes and you can grow. So us as humans, what we do is we live, right? So we go down, we live, and then we learn, and then we make changes and we grow, right? If you're a grower, right? We're all living, we're all learning. Are we making changes to lift our life, our business, or are you just living, right? Living and learning, but not growing and lifting your life up. And think about that, down, right? You're driving your life down. And so what are your decisions per? And so that's where you've got to really look, okay, how can I make faster decisions? If you don't know where you're going, it's real hard to make a decision on what to do. So really be real clear on your future, on your freedom, your point B, and know where you're at. And then you can start to be, okay, well, what are all the ways to get there? And then the second point of telling this exhausting, story and background is that I have a unique perspective that I don't believe very many people on this planet have. Ran 2, by definition, successful, profitable, brokerages in completely polar opposite markets of Lawton, Oklahoma, and North Dallas. And like James said, I don't even know what the tally of coaching clients, but I know we're over 14,600 one-on-one coaching conversations. And my whole point is that there's not a situation that I haven't seen or encountered. And so, I work really well with questions and being able to give you guys, some feedback and get you to think, where you're off in your thinking. And that's usually the biggest constraint that we all have is in our thinking. So that's my long-winded intro and story.
Yeah, I got a question, John. So, all right. So, I mean, like I said, you definitely had a lot of coaching calls and you've talked to a lot of people. I mean, do you think that most of it is in the mind as far as to get an agent to, double their business, triple their business? And what are some of the ways that you unlock that?
Yeah, it's 100% mindset, right? It all has to start in our mind. And Dan Sullivan was strategic coach. He has one of my favorite quotes, and it's, if you're not happy with your present situation, it's because your future is not big enough. For our present to be better, our future has to be bigger. And I promise you, everybody on this call is still not playing big enough. And I know we got some rock star gangsters on this call that are doing some big things, yet they're still not thinking big enough. And we have to understand that. It's like, man, I'm pissed at where I'm at today. And it's, well, what is the big compelling future? Like, what is the big vision? What is the big future? So what happens is that we start out with this big future, right? Big destination, point A to point B. And it's real hard, right? Because it's uphill. And, John Maxwell, everything in life is uphill. So you have to be super intentional with what you do. But what happens over time is that this big future starts to get less and less until it's exactly where you're at today. And I don't know about you guys, but I believe you're either growing or dying. I subscribe to that. And if my destination in my future is exactly where I'm at today, what is that? That's complacency. That's satisfied. And that ain't growing. And so it has to start in the mind. Now, you're like, okay, well, I get it, whatever, but you can control what you do to strengthen and sharpen your mind. Like, do hard shit. That will strengthen you. And that's part of the reason that I push so hard with my body and what we're doing. And I got off with coach last night. Like, we have 3 100-mile foot races this year, and we might do a 4th. And it's just like we're we're pushing. And I just, for me, when you do hard things like that, everything else is easy, right? If you can't run a mile, go run a mile. And then when you can run a mile, go run 2. You run 2, go run 3. And it's always hard. It's always hard. Lance Armstrong, right? Every run is hard. You just get faster. And so that's the same thing with our business. It's always hard because you're pushing and you're just getting faster. You're getting better. It has to start in the mind. So James, Jonah Hill had, I've shared this with quite a few folks. He had his therapist. They did about an hour-and-a-half documentary on Netflix, Stutz, Stutz. And in the first 30 minutes, there's so many nuggets. And what he talks about is that a lot of people get paralyzed and they just don't take action. And he said, us as humans, we always have a move, right? Here's the thing, guys, in your business, in your life, you always have a move. The only time you don't have a move is when you quit. That's it. You always have a move. There is a move. Sometimes we just have to disengage for a second and take a look around. It's real hard, right, to see the forest when we're right inside in the middle of it. What does Coach Burt say? It's hard to see the picture inside of the frame. So sometimes we have to get out of the frame to be able to see the picture. And what Jonah Hill's therapist said is that we always have, we can always do something. And here's what we can do. He said, we can tap into our life force. And what he calls the life force is a pyramid. In the base of the pyramid, he said 85% of our life force is our body, is us. If you guys have, paid attention to Coach Bird at all, he talks about prey drive. It's power of full engagement, right? It's the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual. And the physical, get out and move, right? Go to the gym, lift something. Grab a rock. Do something, right? Lift something. And then, exercise, move, break a sweat. I subscribe to Hal Elrod's The Miracle Morning, his savers, the silence, affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing. Like those are habits. Those are built into my day. All of those activities, and they have been since we started. We worked with Hal for a decade ago, right? And if you guys haven't read The Miracle Morning, I highly recommend it. Jay and Michael co-authored The Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents with Hal. It's fantastic. And so it'll really give you that foundation of what you need to build that base of your life force. The next thing he said is that we need to be around people. And what he says is that you can't allow people to come to you. You have to initiate it. And I've fallen victim to that, right? I'm like, I'm pouring in, I'm doing stuff. Why are they not coming to me? Why are these people not coming to me? They're not going to come to you. You have to initiate it, right? Well, we talk about our business. I want to build a business of attraction. Great. That's great. But you still have to initiate. You still have to reach out to people. And so that was really powerful. And then the top of the pyramid is ourselves. And he said the fastest way to tap into ourselves is through journaling. Goes back to the savers, right? Scribing. And that's the journaling process. And, it's so just to be able to, grab that journal and just get all of your thoughts out of your head. We carry enough shit around. We don't need to carry that all around in our head. Get it out. Let it go. And, to me, that's kind of where it starts. But James, even more important, it's going to be, it's the circle, and it's the nutrients that you're putting into your head. Like, what are you listening to? What are the podcasts? What books are you reading? And then who is around you? And probably my favorite quote is, if you look at the people in your circle, if they don't inspire you, you don't have a circle, you have a cage, right? It's Nipsey quote. I think about that one all the time, right? You have to protect who is in your circle. You hang around 5, 6, 7 broke, mentally miserable losers. Guess what? You're going to be the next one. But you can choose to hang around with winners, people that are winning, that are executing, that are doing the things daily in their life. And guess what? You're going to be the next one. It's just that environment, and it's amazing. And so that's where, James, it has to start there. And, this real estate, there's nothing that can get you to your freedom of time and doing what you want faster. There's nothing dollar per hour that you can do that's going to pay you more than selling real estate. And, this company that, we're a part of is a platform that just breeds, collaboration. There's so many people that you guys can get proximity to and learn and just absorb and be challenged and be pushed daily. And, if you're not, it's because you're not initiating, and that's on you. That's not on the people around you.
Man, I was talking to one of the agents, Craig Nash. He actually went to the Agent to CEO when y'all had that event. And I was asking him about, like, what did he get out of it? And he was just like, man, I had to change how I was thinking. He said he spoke to you and you told him he was thinking too small when he said what his goals was for his numbers. He had just came off of a year. They did 8 million in volume. And, I think he just wanted to increase that, to a smaller amount. And after being there, he said, he learned that he had to make a difference. So I asked him after, I said, so what's the goal now? He said 60 million.
I love it.
It was like, all right, 60 million, that's the big goal, right? So, all right, so how's everything going? So this was like January. He said he already had 5 million under contract in January, which was half of what he did all of the year before, already in January. So just simply because of, his goal, like you were saying, changed, and his mindset changed. And obviously, he's working the systems and working the processes as well. But just from that alone, like you said, half of what he did all of last year under contract in January.
That's so awesome. That's great. You know, I mean, it'll shake you, and then you know, what do you know, you know, it has to tap into understanding. I think seeing it, seeing it, being around it, knowing that it's possible, and then, you know, trying to figure out what's the path to get there. But it comes down to the execution. It comes down to doing the work. And you know, I had Justin Nelson at kitchen table. I think Dan was there with us at that time. I think we went through I took him through the 10X exercise. You know, 10X their thinking, 10 times their thinking. And so Collier, I think Collier was in there with us too when we did it, and changed the whole trajectory of what Justin Nelson is doing with his company, because, you know, he had come off a 4 million in revenue year, and he went through that exercise, and he realized he was even thinking and playing too small. And just seeing that and being challenged can, you know, just do wonders. Like, get in the room, right? Get in the room. You know, Jesse Itzler talks about it all the time, right? Get in the room. Even if you got to sit in the nosebleeds, get in the room. It doesn't matter. You don't have to buy the front row VIP ticket. Just get there, get in the room. And those are just some great reminders to be pushed and challenged, and being around people. And, you know, if you're leading, you know, people, and you have some key team players around you, take them with you. You know, that was one of the things that has always, a lesson that has stuck with me from day one with Jay. You know, I came in October of 2004, and, you know, we were a part of, you know, Craig Proctor, and he had started the Platinum Group. And I remember coming in, and Jay was like, man, we're going to do this. We're going to do it. And Andre, I can't remember, what was it? 10,000. It was like 10, you had to write a $10,000 check. So 2004, like $10,000 check. And like within the first 2 weeks of me working with Jay, and he's like, yeah, man, hey, let's write that check. Let's get it out. And then I said, all right. He said, all right, man, hey, can you book us? Can you book airfare and hotel? This is kind of where we're going to stay. I said, yeah, man, I'll get you booked. When do you want it? He's like, no. You're going with me. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. He said, if you're going to ride and we're going to build this together, you're going with me. And that's just the way he's always been. And it's one of the things I love about him. And it's just the lesson that is carried over into me, is that if you've got key people around you, you're pouring into them. And if you're going and you're learning, they need to be sitting right beside you. They need to be riding with you. And it really is one of the most powerful lessons. You know, when you're building a team and you've got strong team members, you've got to get them plugged in.
So look, so anybody have questions for John, just go ahead and you know, either raise your hand or take yourself off mute. Go ahead and ask him the questions. I mean, this is a good time to, you know, honestly get free advice about your business. So, you know, be honest with you. So John ain't cheap. So, but you know, you can jumping right in here, put it in the chat. You know, go ahead and ask the question in and of itself. But I mean, just to kind of chime in on that whole thing, John. Like, you know, that's one of the things that I did when I got connected with you all. I mean, I started bringing my key people, my key folks that I was connected with to the event. And I've continued to do that, even to the point where, you know what I'm saying, I've actually got my wife involved, and she actually started going and you know, afterward, you know, got a real estate license, and now we're working together. So like, you know,
Cool.
you know, getting those key people involved, you know, I think that makes a big difference. So, you know, you're absolutely right with that.
Yeah. I want to give you guys a shout out again. And, you know, got you guys into the room. We did, you know, went back-to-back years in Key West, kind of really the last transition of you know, kind of the NAEA mastermind. It's, you know, it changed, evolved, but that was kind of the last couple of years of the true vibe and feel mastermind format. That second year, not so much, is it grew, you know, beyond kind of what's a stable mastermind is about, less than 50 people. You get up over that, the event changes. But within a 12-month period, you know, you, Ron, Levi, Morris, just, and most of you guys know Nick Krim. You know, Nick was in the room that year, who you guys were. And then when you guys came back the following year was not even the same human beings. And that's the power of getting in the right rooms and being around the right people. And I can't stress that enough, guys. I mean, like what you guys have, availability to with this crew here. I mean, it's amazing. Don't take it for granted. Like, be a little selfish, suck as much out of it as you can, because it's gonna pour into you so you can grow.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Anybody got questions for John, business related, something about your personal business or something about what he's talking about right now? John, you're doing a great job, man.
Well, I have a tendency to go real high level and get people thinking on a high level. So I'm used to the deer in the headlight look, the eyes glazed over, because I know it's pushing you and it's challenging you, and that's really, that's, you look at my purpose, my why, and inspire and challenge people to think bigger so that you guys can transform your business and transform your life. That's what I do every day. Constantly aware of it, constantly thinking about it, and how can I be better to pour in so you guys can be better.
One of the things that you did when we went to the boot camp in Dallas, like the first time I went to the boot camp in Dallas, which I've never seen happen before. You had us to pull out that ruler, right? I had that ruler, and saying you had to, like, wherever you were, like whatever age you were, you had to go to that age in the ruler and tear that off and throw that part away to the back part. And then you took an average of the, a lifespan of, a male first, and then also a female. And then you had us to tear that off from the top being and throw it away. And then looking at that, it was like, this is how much time you got to fulfill your goals and fulfill your dreams. And like that whole thing there, I mean, I just looked at it and I was like, man, I mean, if that don't make you think and then like really start to pay attention to the stuff y'all talking about.
Yeah. That that exercise, it'll shake you at your core. I got those, if you guys have IKEA or been to IKEA, they have the paper rulers. And so you flip it over and it's got the metric 0 to 100. And what James was talking about is, you go to your age today, rip it off. And so today I would rip off at 45. So I'd have 45 to 100. Well, then I would have to go for the average life expectancy, and it's going to continue to grow. But for us guys in the US, I think it's 79. For you ladies, I think it's 80, 81 in there. So we go to 79. So statistically, I've got 45 to 79 to have the biggest impact that I want to have on my life. Right? And, you look at, my buddy shared this on Facebook probably a decade ago, but it was the definition, somebody's definition of hell is the day the train stops running, you get to meet the best, you get to meet who you could have become. And if you guys have listened to David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me, at the very end, he talks about that. And he said, typical Goggins factor, fuck that. Like, I'm going to be better than that person. That person going to be jealous when they meet me. And so, that's kind of those things, right? It's just like push. And what am I doing to become the best version? So I believe that, your business is in direct proportion to the size of your leadership capabilities, right? And it's elastic to that. And so for our business to grow, we had to grow. And I believe you can't coach and lead another human until you can coach and lead yourself first. And it's a never ending process. It's always getting better. And, another one of the reasons that I really push myself hard and do hard stuff is that I'd rather humble myself than have another human humble me. I don't like that feeling. I've been humbled by a few other humans before. I don't like that feeling. but I know I can humble myself, and ain't nobody else going to humble me any more than that. And so, when you're kind of shook at your core and you've only got so much time left, now you have a choice. What do you want to do with it? What do you want to do with it?
So we got a couple questions here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll go rapid fire if you don't mind. I'll just fire through these. So journaling, for me, it's you just make sure if it doesn't make the calendar, it doesn't happen. I've lived by that. Ruthless with the calendar. If you guys saw my calendar, you'd be like, holy shit. Every minute is blocked. And it's detailed with everything. Even if it's like, did date night last night and watched You, right? That was in there. It was in the calendar. So everything has to be in there. So you got to find that time. And sometimes it's in something, right? So for me, it's a cup of coffee and my notepad goes with me everywhere, right? So it's just there. Just sit down and write the date, just write what's on my mind. There's some great questions you can maybe ask yourself to kind of spark, how was the day? What did I learn yesterday? What am I excited about for today? What am I grateful for? And that's actually one of the very first things that I do when I finally grab this little thing is I go to my notes and I have I book in my day with two things. Very first thing in the morning, when I grab that, I open notes, I'll type in today's date, February 10th, and then I just type in what I'm the most grateful for in the moment. And for me mentally, it's a game changer because I'm waking up in a state of gratitude. We all have so much to be grateful for, and you just have to be aware of it. If you guys haven't read The Gap in the Game, you've got, that's the number one book recommendation that if you haven't read it, read it. If you've read it again. And then the bookend that at the end of the day, I have an alarm. I'm obsessive with my alarms and they're detailed. So at 9:45, my alarm goes off and it says wins. And so I open my notes back up. So it's February the 10th. I'll go in there and I'll type all of my victories for today. Like, this is a victory. Having the opportunity to hang out with you guys for an hour. Yeah, it's in there. I'll type that in there. I had a great lift session this morning. I got to spend 30 minutes in the sauna. like those are all wins. I got to wake him up, fix some breakfast and take him to school today. Those are wins. And when you realize that, the collection of wins is what builds confidence. See, there's a gap in our confidence. And the gap is that you believe you have to feel confident before you are. There is no way to feel your way into action. You have to act, and the feeling of confidence will come later. And so that's the biggest thing I can tell you guys is that if you're feeling in a way, take action. So for me, journaling, do it around whatever's on your mind. Yeah, do it around whatever's on your mind that day. That's the best thing. The thing is just get it out of your head. We carry enough shit around with us. Just brain dump it, because then that frees your mind up, for all the other things that you're going to fill it with. So be able to do that. Dustin, profitable sales team at 125 average price. We did a lot of stuff. Is what we did. The best thing that I can tell you that changed the game for us was Greg Crabtree's book, Simple Numbers, Straight Talk, Big Profits, and what his concept of the salary cap. And so, we were running right at $1 million in revenue is kind of where we were at. And we had to set a profit target, and our profit target was 15%. So $1 million profit of 15%. So that meant that we had $850,000 a year to put the best team on the field to execute. Now we know we're paying agents, so that's a big factor. At that time, I'm only doing maybe 10 to 12 deals would go in my name. And most of them were our remodels. I had a couple of builders that I would, list their houses. So I had very few of those dollars that would just carry to the bottom line. But we were keeping about 60 cents of every dollar. We had GCI, we had transaction fees, we had mortgage, we had title, And we had, home inspector, we had termite pests. I mean, we just, just collect a little bit from everybody. And so we had all of those dollars would equal up to $1 million. We knew our profit. We knew we were paying about $400,000 out to agents. And so 600 minus 150. So we had $450,000 budget for salaries, facilities, communication, marketing, and dues, subscriptions, and all the other expenses. That was our budget. We had a budget. And there's so many agents that don't even know their numbers. And that's going to make it even harder. And it's going to be more of a struggle for you guys. You've got to know your numbers. Got to know the numbers. You've got to track and measure. That's how we improve. So that's where I would look, Dustin, is if we're struggling there, we're out of the salary cap. The other thing, and we struggled with this, is what he talks about in there is a market-based wage. So what happens with a lot of real estate agents, they build a lifestyle business, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like I said, there's nothing that you can do to make more money than you personally selling real estate. Building a team, you ain't making as much money at all. The most profitable thing you can do is go sell houses. If you don't want to sell houses, great, but you've got to understand a market-based wage. And so what happens with real estate agents is they build a lifestyle business, and they may make $200,000-300,000 and they spend every bit of it. Then they want to build a team, and they want to keep paying themselves as if they were one doing all the production. And so we learned that lesson the hard way with Jay. He had built kind of a lifestyle business, and we tried to pull him out of production, and we were still paying him as if he was doing all the production. He wasn't doing the production. And so, we had a hefty salary instead of, being able to turn, there. So those are a couple of the things that you want to look at when you're building the team and, getting out of production too fast, is that you tend to overcompensate yourself when you're doing less production, because you build a lifestyle that's still maintained to support it. So you just got to kind of look at the numbers, but Crabtree's book will help you to get within the salary cap for sure. What are some current strategies you are making to get more sellers? Great question. Obviously, Sphere database, really tapping into that. I think making sure you're with Braden if you don't have some funnels set up to acquire some leads. And you're like, well, those are buyer leads. I'm going to share a real quick story with you. So I've got a solo agent I've been working with, Pam Martin. She's up in Virginia. Well, she's not in Virginia anymore. Well, she's only there for 5 months out of the year. The other 7, she is on the beach just south of Myrtle Beach. So Pam came to me in 18, going into 19. And I was like, okay, and here's her whole business. She works her database. She has KV Core. She transferred all of everything when she came over to EXP, everything into KV Core, leads coming in. And I said, Pam, we're making a mental shift. Are you okay with this? She's like, yep. Well, she goes, well, what is it? I said, here's what we're going to do. I said, you're going to treat every one of those leads as if they are a seller. You're going to talk to them as if they're a seller. They have a home to sell. You're going to put them on seller drip campaigns, follow up, everything seller, 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 until they tell you, Pam, we don't have a home to sell. We are only buying. We are renting. We need to buy. And when she made that mental shift, her whole business changed. She's Icon. She's a solo agent. She has a virtual transaction. She's a solo agent. She Icons every year. Another cool thing that Pam did, in March of 2020, when we couldn't go into houses anymore, we all had to get creative, and we all had to go virtual. So she has a virtual listing process that she goes through. She's iconed 19, 20, 21, 22. She's iconed 4 times since she's been at EXP. James, since March of 2020, guess how many homes she's been in? And her average sales price is right around 400. She's icon, so she's just getting there to icon status. So you can, how many homes you have to be in to hit icon. Since March of 2020, she's been in 5 homes.
Wow.
EXP stock allowed her to buy $1 million beach home south of Myrtle Beach, on the beach. Like, you literally open the front door, you walk across the pathway, you are on the sand. There's no structures, no nothing in front of her front door. EXPI stock allowed her to buy $1 million beach home. She spends 7 months. This month, she's owned it for 2 years. She works 7 months of the year from there. She's iconed the last 2 years working from Myrtle Beach, south of Myrtle Beach. There is a way, guys. It's all in your thinking. Like, you have this old school belief that you have to go in the house. No, you don't. Right? If she could show you a way to live the life you want to live, wherever you want to live, and not lose your business, would you be open to that? Every one of you on here would sign up for that. So goes back to the only constraint all of us have is the constraint in our thinking. What is the goal, and what are all the ways to get there? And so she's incredible. She has, I mean, it's an amazing story. So I would say treat every lead as a seller lead until they tell you they're not. That's one strategy in your thinking. So generate opportunities, generate leads, get with Braden, set up price reduction calls, whatever, but treat them as a seller until you know they're not. I believe that you've got to prospect. I believe you've got to reach out to, the likely to move data. What are you doing offline to get them to online to have a conversation? Old expireds still, for sell by owners, if they're there, doing that, maximizing your open houses. Nicole, I had Nicole Ambrose on, Expert Mentors Live. If you guys haven't caught that episode, she breaks down her open house strategy. It's the most gangster open house strategy I've ever seen in my life. Like, if I was doing open houses, I would be doing exactly what she's doing, because she's picking up listings around her open houses. You guys have got to have 4 or 5 strategies to generate seller opportunities. Okay. Have to. I understand you can get buyers. We can cash checks a little bit faster as the listings will start to sit. We might not see it till maybe later in the year because of just still supply and demand issues. But you guys have got to have 4 or 5 different strategies to get listings. But those would be my go-to right now. Those would be them for seller leads. And then conquer fear. Conquering of fear is doing the things within your control and realizing that the fear is only less than 10% of the time it actually even comes true. So we tend to paralyze ourselves in thinking about fear. Fear typically is thinking about the future that hasn't even happened yet. So why in the hell are we even concerned with something that hasn't even happened yet? But what can we do within our control, right? We can focus on the life force. We can take action. We can, and here, so James, I'll wrap with this. So I was talking about confidence, and two definitions of confidence. One is a feeling, and 2 is an act of trust or reliance. The confidence gap is when you feel you have to be confident before you act on it. And there's another concept from Dan Sullivan, a strategic coach, called the 4 C's, and it's commitment to confidence. And everything starts with a commitment. I don't believe you commit and figure it out. I believe you reverse engineer what it is that you believe you want to do, and you bring it back down to the weekly, daily activities. And is that something you're willing to commit to? And if so, let's go, right? I do it for everything. I did it when I, first did my first Ironman. I was like 140 miles, like 2.4 miles in the water. Like, what is that? Like 112 miles on the bike? Are you kidding me? I had ran a marathon before, so I knew what that was. But then I was like, man, how much training is that going to take? Like, what do I got to know? And then I reversed down and I'm like, okay, is that something I'm willing to commit to? I had to get buy-in from the family. I'm going to miss this event. I'm going to miss these training. I'm going to miss, taking him to karate. I'm going to miss this. Was that something I was willing to commit to? Well, once it was, then I was committed. That's when you commit. But once you commit, you have to have the courage. And see, that's where the action happens. The courage to take action. And once you take action, then you have to learn something, right? The fear is that maybe because we have excessive expectations, because we're too hard on ourselves. The fear, right? We're preoccupied with fear, or it's a lack of experience or lack of skill. Well, we have to commit and have the courage to take the action to learn what we don't know, to be able to get the small victories. And from courage to capabilities on our way to confidence is discipline. My favorite author is Ryan Holiday. The Obstacle is the Way, Ego is the Enemy. He's really going down on the Stoic virtues right now. He wrote about courage. And then his newest book, Discipline is Destiny. My team, so we do a book of the month club, a book every month. And so this month for our team, it's Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday. And what he talks about is courage is putting your ass on the line. Discipline is keeping your ass in line. And so you can't keep in line if you're not trying, if you're not doing what you need to do. And then once we develop capabilities, then we start to get small wins. And the thing, guys, that I want you to commit to, I want you to commit to focusing only on the wins within your control. See, what's in your bank account is just a result. That has nothing to do with things in your control. See, your bank account balance is not within your control. What is in your control is the hours that you spent, engaging and texting and video message and making dials and having conversations to set appointments. See, there's only about 4 things in real estate in this business that's within your control. What is your number that you need to hit daily within those activities? That's where you win. And then you have a process at the end of the day to where you document those wins, because we start collecting wins and we start building confidence. And my favorite definition of confidence comes from Tim Grover, MJ and Kobe's coach. He said, do you know the difference between arrogance and confidence? It's one thing. It's winning. Arrogant people just run their mouth. They just talk. Confident people win, right? And so you're winning every day. You just have to acknowledge it and be aware of it. And that will build your confidence over time. So 4 C's, man: commitment to confidence. Start with the commitment, have the courage to take action, the discipline to stay in the fire when it gets hot, because it's going to get real hot. And, what am I learning? What am I developing? What are my capabilities? What am I learning in my thinking, my skill set, my relationships? And document my wins over time, and I'm going to build confidence.
Love it, man. Love it. Hey, I don't know about everybody else, but I mean, I feel like my mind has been blown just from being on here and thinking on a different level and stuff like that, which you always do every time we talk, man. I definitely appreciate you jumping on.
You bet, man.
If anybody got invited here by another agent, one, you want to thank them because you're not going to be the same after this call. And you probably should have further conversation with that particular person about what our group looks like in and of itself. Just to kind of let everybody know, so we do record these. The record is going to be on the Agent Builders Facebook group. If you're not part of Agent Builders, just get with the person that is your sponsor, and then they'll make sure that you're connected on that Facebook group. A couple of things that I do want to let everybody know as well. If you're in Atlanta, or if you decide that you want to go to Atlanta, we're actually going to be doing an event, a training that's going to be this February the 23rd. It's going to be at 11 a.m. We're actually going to the South Side. We've never been to the South Side before, so this is all your South Side people. We're coming to your way, so definitely you want to show out. But it's going to be 11 a.m. It's going to be at College Park, so definitely put that on your calendars if you're in Atlanta, to kind of give everybody an idea of some of the events that are coming up. May the 17th. We're actually going to be, that's going to be the, what is it? The Bill conference. It's going to be May the 17th. That's going to be coming up here. So if you haven't been part of Bill, usually they got Tony Robbins there. I'm not sure he's going to be there this year, but for the last 2 years he's been there. You got Brent Gold. You're going to have some dynamic speakers in of itself. So like John said, like, decisions, you're changed when you go to events. Like, I can understand my business did not grow until I jumped on an airplane and flew to California, went to a conference and got around other people that was doing things on a high level. And once they were doing things on a high level, it built that confidence, it built that whole process in of itself. So, you definitely want to get there. And also we got the shareholders meeting. Andre, you know when that shareholders meeting is? I think it's June, right?
No, it's in May.
May 17th to the 20th.
I'm sorry. All right. So I got the dates wrong. I'm sorry. So the shareholders meeting is 17th through the 20th. The Bill conference is, let me see here.
It's in San Antonio down. I think it's during the summer, I think.
No. Yeah. July the 10th through the 12th is the Bill conference. And then you have Cabo, if you can find tickets, somebody usually have tickets at the last minute. It's going to be March the 27th through April the 1st. So you definitely want to be able to get to these events. If you're serious about growing your business, I'm just telling you, you can do it another way. And I'm not saying it can't happen another way, but I'm just talking about my experience. When you get in the room with top people, you elevate. So just make sure you're getting there in of itself.
Yeah, I would, James, just to kind of echo on that. If you guys are just in a situation to where, because I know shareholders ticket is sporty. If you're just kind of in a situation like, man, these tickets are expensive, you can still gain tremendous value even being in the hallways. So just because you might not be able to get a ticket to get into the event, being in the hallways is just as powerful. And so, don't limit yourself because your budget won't allow you to get that ticket. Just like, cool, let's go. I'll just go hang out in the hallways. And there's always, conversations that will come together. And then I would also tell you guys, be intentional. When you go to events, what's the number one goal you're trying to accomplish out of that event? Like, if I can solve this one thing that I'm wrestling with, that's keeping me up at night, it'll 10x this investment to go into that event. So be super intentional. Don't go to, for what did Jay Abraham always, intellectual entertainment. No, you go there with intent to solve a problem that you're wrestling with.
Love it, man. That's a good point. So, some of my best, honestly, ideas have come from being in hallways, lunches, and just kind of bumping in and just having like little conversations. Levi, there, somebody's asking where about in College Park. You got the address of that?
Right now it's confirmed for Club E in College Park. That's Club E. I don't have the address, but it's right there on Main Street.
Yeah, we'll be sending that out. We're gonna post it on Agent Builders so that everybody have access to it, the address and everything. And we're gonna create an Eventbrite link as well, so you'll have that. It's a free event, and like I said, we always have a good time when we go there. But more importantly, we learn how to sell more real estate. So
love it.
And we stream it in Agent Builder, so even if you're not in Atlanta, you still are able to watch it. So, no man left behind. That's what they say in the military, right? No man left behind within this. So, man, it's like I said, it's been great. Anybody got any last minute questions or anything like that? I know John probably got a hop.
I got to jump. Jamie was asking, where to find the open house information. So, we're at John Kitchens Coach on all platforms. And we put all of those Expert Mentor live conversations on our YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube, just John Kitchens Coach, then there's a playlist there that has Expert Mentors live. There's like, if you're serious about agent attraction right now, watch Andre's Expert Mentors live, you watch Dan Hillsman's Expert Mentors live, and you watch Vincent Ku's Expert Mentors live. Those three conversations alone will change your agent attraction trajectory. And the cool thing is that you've got 2 of the 3 that you can reach at any time that's accessible in this group. So, be able to go tap into there. But yeah, Nicole's conversation, if you get through, we had some technical difficulties in the beginning, you just kind of get through that. And then she just drops bomb after bomb after bomb. And definitely some great strategies to look into to be able to help you guys grow your business. Awesome. Appreciate you guys. If you have any questions, hit me up. But man, always love hanging with you. James, thank you.
Appreciate you, John, man.
buddy.
Hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you at the next event, brother.
You got it, man. See ya. Levi, see ya. Andre, thanks.
Once again, thanks to everybody for jumping on board. Hopefully everybody got a lot out of it. Like I said, we do these every second Friday of the month. Get with the person that invited you if you're not already part of our group, so you can kind of learn more. Thank them, like I said, because if you're serious about growing your business, I'm telling you, there's no better group to be a part of. So with that being said, like, y'all have a great Friday, and let's talk, let's get connected, and anything that I can do, y'all can reach out, to help.
Thanks, James. Thanks, everybody. Glad to be in business with y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Andre. Problem.